Hey guys, welcome to Fish Hook. It's Tuesday, October 8th, and we're going to have a great session today. Been looking forward to this to talk to everybody. I want to thank everybody. First, all the subscribers that have subscribed to our channel. I really want to thank you very much. It means a lot to me and to my wife and to our family. We have great supporters like you folks. We've had a great week, very interesting week, and I want to get into that. I want to thank you guys also, before I forget. The comments have been awesome. The interaction, absolutely excellent. That's what I live for. That I live for your reactions or maybe comments and a positive critique. Love it, absolutely love it. So thank you again. As my friends get on board tonight, and you guys will be all over the world, I'm sure, please give us your where you're from for the benefit of everybody else. Like I said, I just got back Sunday, this past Sunday from Florida. I left like 90-degree weather, some days better than 90-degree, and it's still warm down there, my wife says. And now I come back and it's 55 degrees this morning. I'm talking 7:30 in the morning. 55 degrees, and yesterday it didn't get above 62, 63. Today it hit 77, 78, but just spotty, and then it goes right back down into the 50s. So what are you going to do? It's the turn of the seasons. Old man summer is getting his last hurrah. Well, in Florida this week, we had a blast. We really did. I got a bunch of fishing in. I'm working on videos now, editing them. We also produced, I think it was two good food videos, one of which I showed this week, healthy shrimp and grits, and I'll be talking about that tonight. The fishing has been interesting. We took the boat out last Thursday, a really calm day, just beautiful, maybe 3 to 5 miles an hour, the winds, very light chop. And we went out about 4 or 5 miles on the north side and west of Anclote Island in the Gulf. And this is right out in the Gulf waters. And I went out particularly to catch grunts. And man, it was great. We got out to 30 feet of water, 31 feet. We were teeter-tottering 27 to 31 feet of water and doing jigging, which I love, and bottom fishing. And man, those grunts, oh man. I caught a snapper, a red snapper. He was under limit. And then I didn't catch. I had another one take it and really peel drag. So I'm assuming that was a snapper or a big grouper. They're starting now. The activity is here. The water temps were 81 degrees, 80.5, 81.5. So it's come down dramatically now there. So I think now we're going to see some really good videos. I'll be able to produce much better content on fishing now. I'll have something to show for it. Inshore now, pompano, once in a while they're being caught. I heard a friend of mine caught a permit. Nothing really to talk about, but just one, and just now starting to pick up. The reds are definitely moving now. They're getting active. But again, we got this for the sake of a lot of you guys that don't know what happened in Florida this past year. We had a very horrific red tide. This was the first year for me. I'm a non-resident of Florida. And the first time I saw a red tide, what they call a red tide, that lasted like 9 months or so. And they tell me that it comes in the fall, and it's an annual fall thing where the algae blooms and so forth, and it's driven by the currents. And we had a nice talk about this 3 or 4 chatting sessions ago. And this year was horrific. That it decimated Sarasota. It started in there, came into Sarasota Bay. I mean, literally shut the fishing down unless you went offshore. And some of this red tide was 10 and 15 miles out. So, I mean, that's all your inshore. And it decimated the snook, it decimated the redfish, and it decimated all the speckled trout. And not only that, so many other types of fish were killed as well. And what do you call it? FWA. They had backhoes scooping up thousands and thousands of tons. There was on the beach of Sarasota. There was DM Gus. How you doing, man? Remember that, just for the sake of everybody that's watching and whoever does cue in tonight, just write down where you're from if you don't mind. It was over 60,000 tons. That's not an exaggeration. 60,000 tons of dead fish. Just amazing. So because of that, we now have a stop fishing of keeping. We cannot harvest any redfish, any snook, and any speckled trout, any size, doesn't make a difference, till the end of May of 2020. So we got another 6 months to put up with this, 7 months. We've been catching them regularly. So we took the boat out Thursday, and this is really good. We went out we were drifting. I like to do a lot of drift fishing. I don't like throwing the anchor down a lot. I like to drift, and as long as the drift is right and it's not real fast. If it's really fast or we hit a really hot bite, I'm going to drop the anchor and work that place. So we went about, like I said, 4 to 5 miles out, and we hit some good pockets, some humps. This is all hard bottom. I have only a sonar unit, a 2D sonar unit. It's a Lowrance HD 111 that came with the boat. Anyway, we saw some blitzes as we were moving out. We weren't even a quarter mile from shore. That we followed the birds, and any good fisherman knows that. And for you guys that are new, when you see seagulls and other birds just diving down constantly, and you're seeing when water boils and it's frothy on the surface, let me tell you what's happening. The bait is running for its life. They're being charged to the surface from fish below, which in saltwater could be bluefish, could be Spanish mackerel, could be tuna. They're just charging and ambushing the bait, corralling them up to the surface. They can't go nowhere. The little drones that are flying around, which are seagulls, see that, and bam, they come down, they stick their blade in, their snout in the beak, or they just dive real quick, grab, open their mouth, scoop up a bait. It's for the taking, and they take it up. And so you see this going on. So, oh man, we had fun with this blitz. I charged up close to it and just glided into the area, shut the motor off. I didn't want to spook it. And I was right in the middle of this blitz, and I'm casting out, and twice I got cut off. You wouldn't believe this, man. Good sharp hits. I had 20-pound braid on. Just cut that with a mono leader, just cut it like it was, forget it. It was like a piece of paper. So I had to put some steel wire leaders on, and we caught some nice Spanish mackerel. That was a lot of fun. And then that died down after a while. And so we went out farther, and that's where we got into grunts. I had a blast. Let me tell you, we caught mostly what they call white grunts. They're a light-bodied color. If you look at my thumbnail on the one, I go out regularly for grunts. Why? They're one of the most overlooked, tastiest fishes from the inshore. They're outrageous, and they can grow upwards of 18 to 24 inches. The world record, 6 pounds, I think 4 ounces. Caught off the coast of Georgia, of all things. Can you imagine that? A 6-pound grunt? Oh, you think you had Moby Dick on the line. Unbelievable. So those grunts, if you ever get an opportunity to eat it, take it. It's white, flaky flesh. It's just beautiful. They got a very thick hide like sheep's head and other fish that live among the rocks and hard bottom. Very thick shell. Oh, yeah, like triple tails, the same thing. It's like dinosaur scales on it. This is to protect them in the harsh environment that they're living in. So we caught grunts, and it was great. I have frozen Rabbit Creek, Alaska. I knew you're from Alaska. I just didn't remember I know you told me that's near Juneau, I think, but you had told me Juneau, Alaska. Very nice to have you, man. I appreciate you being on DM. Thank you so much. Send some pictures. And everybody else that's tuning in tonight, please let me give you our email address right now. And this way you guys can send me some of your pics. fishshow2019@gmail.com. Please send us some pics and maybe even subject matter you'd like me to cover, because I want to do that. I work up good subject matter for you guys. All right. Thank you, DM. And thanks for tuning in, bro, all the way from Alaska. It's my second home. I lived in Eagle River, Alaska, which is in the Anchorage Bowl area, a little bit north of Wasilla. And DM knows where that is. So for all you other guys that are on board tonight, and women, if you got questions, why don't we talk about this? Why don't we talk about that? Please do that. This is open forum. And I'd like to discuss this with you guys. Yeah, not too far from me. But DM, aren't you in the Juneau area? I thought that's what you told me last time you were in Juneau. I'm not familiar with Rabbit Creek, Alaska. So we caught a ton of grunts, and I use frozen squid. I buy that. As fresh as possible is the best. And you cut nice rings, and you don't have to put gigantic amount. I had nothing more than a 2-aught to a 3-aught circle hook, and I was fishing with a knocker rig. I was going between 1 ounce and 1.5 to 2 ounces. The current was pretty strong, ripping. So I wanted to kind of keep it pretty close to the boat, so I can hook the fish pretty easily, and I don't want too much slack in my line. And that worked out really good. I was changing pretty regular between 1.5 ounces and 2 ounces, just so I could control my drift. So these are things you'll learn as you're fishing. If your boat is drifting, that's one thing, and drifting is great. You want to pair that up with a properly weighted knocker rig. You don't want it to be so, if you're drifting, you don't want your knocker rig to be so heavy where it doesn't move, and you're dragging it. It's not realistic, because a knocker rig will slide all the way up to the hook. A Carolina you'll have a leader extension, you'll have a swivel and probably a little bead. Then this is going back toward the line, back toward your rod, and then you'll have a weight there. So that way it floats a little. So I didn't do that. I wanted my bait to be right on the ocean floor. So I played between 1.5 ounce to 2 ounce. It stayed in parallel with my boat. So that was okay. I just didn't want to be dragging it all over the place, and then it would be a very unlikely bait. It wouldn't look lively, and it wouldn't look lifelike. But anyway, sometimes no sooner they drop down to the bottom, they hit the floor, bam, they're on it. And the little ones like the pinfish when they're getting them, because they just did like that. But when a grunt takes it, it's unmistakable. He has a very strong bite, very determined bite. So grunts are great. All the fish that I catch in salt water now, we're talking about, they're just fun. And they're very, very lively, very strong. The motto in the ocean is it's either eat or be eaten. So these guys are on their best behavior. They're in defense mode, and they're extremely aggressive. And they'll get their bait fast, and it's just unbelievable. So the mackerel picking up. I've got a note here to tell you this. I'm going to be making, and it's in the process of compiling it. We've had several weeks of slow, very mediocre fishing, and this is inshore. I haven't done anything yet on Tampa Bay, and when I go back here in another week and a half, 2 weeks, I'll be back in Florida. I am now going to start my trek, and I'm going to learn Tampa Bay, because there's a great snapper bite going on now. It's coming in grouper. The temperatures are right, and depending on the Saluna tables, and we'll talk about that one session. We'll talk about how to tie in, first reading the tides, knowing when the sun comes up, dusk to dawn, taking all this into consideration, and the Saluna tables, which will give you your major fishing times and your minor fishing times, all based on the gravitation, the pull of the tides, based on, you see the moon, and it's really a full moon, you'll say it's the very best time to fish at a major feeding time, say from 9 in the morning till 11 in the morning. They'll give you like anywhere from an hour to 2 hour window on an average of major and minor times, and they're great. They're great. If it's a real fast moving tide, it's not the best way. You want a slower moving tide, and you want to get it just right, especially when a tide changes. So there's a science to all that, and then you could take all of that and throw it out the window, and fish do whatever they want to do. I was out fishing at last year and I had in my videos I showed you what I have a gold and a silver mirrodine about this big. It's a suspending twitch bait. It's slow, it sinks like that, and you just got to turn your rod. That's why you have a very sensitive tip. Just flip it a little bit, reel it in, let it sink, flip it, and it really mimics an injured bait fish. Well, I was fishing with a gold one, and just as all offshore waiting, I love wade fishing there, and I caught a beautiful pompano. Just shocked me to no end that it was on the north shore of Dunedin. And then another time I was out there, and it was very unlikely. This was about 11 or 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. It was low tide. It didn't fall in any of the charts. And I caught 4 19 to 20 inch speck trouts, one after another on a gold one. It was just happened to match. The expression is match the hatch. We do that in fly fishing. It's the same thing. Us guys that use artificial lures, I do all of it. But with artificial lures, in effect, you're matching the hatch. What you're trying to do is imitate the bait that's in the water. First, the profile, which is the size, the color, and you don't know, like you might have one that's bright green or white, for example. And in the water, and depending on the color clarity of the water, it might look yellow, it might look light brown. It's just different reflections in the water and how it appears. So it's why it's a sin, but we constantly are buying bait. We're constantly buying tackle. We're buying lures. That's a cool thing. That's the fun thing about fishing. You just try different things, and you want to keep some kind of a notes. Remember, try to mentally log it in your mind. Hey, it was an overcast day. That's why keeping notes is really good. Overcast day, the water was real windy. That means the water's going to be murky. Well, I want to try different lures. In those cases, you want to get something that has a lot of flesh that'll maybe dispel some of the darkness or the murkiness, or you want to put something with a scent in there. And because I don't think anybody really knows 100%. Everybody, we sound like know-it-alls when we talk about fishing, but the fact is that we're all practicing fishing. There are some good practices that have worked. And approaches to fishing. Yes, we know certain biologies of the fish, but sometimes, I don't think anybody's ever given me an answer as why a lot of these eagle rays come flying out of the water, or why mullet constantly are jumping out of the water, whether they're running from something that's going after it, or they're doing something else. I don't know. No one's ever given me a carte blanche, black and white answer to that. So it's not really going to change my life, but it's something, we get curious. And we were fishing on the boat the other day, and all of a sudden, bam, these huge eagle rays, 1, 2 at a time, 2 or 3 times, it just out of nowhere, like rockets, came out at a 45-degree angle and splat down. Some people say, hey, they're cleaning the little insects or whatever, eating on them. I don't know. I don't really know the answer to that. I'm curious. If anybody knows, you can post it. But you hear a lot of things from a lot of people. So you just take it in, and we're guessing. We're not fish. We don't know. There's no way to really track that and find that out. So, but this is the fun thing when you go fishing. You just don't know what you're going to come across. We've seen tremendous. My wonderful wife is on. How you doing, honey, with the flower? But we've seen some exciting explosions on the water. I mean, listen, that gets your adrenaline going. When I go out fishing, I'm going a little off tangent here, but when I go fishing, I don't know what I'm going to catch. I have targeted species. We all have these big $10 words we're using now. Targeted species and all this. All this is mass marketing. So don't be a robot, guys. Don't be led around like a hook in the nose like a pig. Don't do that. Be yourself. Go out there, learn about the fish you want to catch. We want to take a ethical and a scientific approach because we know habits of fish when they come into spawn, where they'll be. So we know all that, and we know a lot of things that they like to eat. So for what we know, we go out with. And like when I go out, I like to catch a snook every time, but I don't. And I fish certain areas. Sometimes what prohibits is you got to do a lot of walking, and wading can wear you out. There's a lot of seashore in Florida, a lot of back areas, and Lord knows I do a ton of it. And these new boots I told you about, these frog togs I got, excellent. Very comfortable on the feet. Gave me a much wider footprint, and that means stability. And let me tell you, there's all kinds of jagged, algae covered, slicker than pig snot rocks underneath there. You don't know. Or just little minor deviations in the sand, like little potholes, and it'll bust your ankle if you don't have solid boots. So I've used them several times now, and I think these are going to be a keeper. These are going to be real good. So as I was saying before, I'm making a compilation video, and I'll be doing this as time goes on. I'll be making others where it'll compile maybe 2 or 3 or 4 days worth of fishing that was less than mediocre. There are days like that. Every day we don't catch a world record. But it's the experiences, relationships you make, whether it's you and your wife or a dad and their kid. Oh, man, that is golden. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, just making wonderful memories and having fun. And, of course, everybody wants to catch a fish. I'm a kid out there. I don't care how old I get. I'm like a 7-year-old kid catching his first. I love it. You get a tug on the line. I know if my buddy Steve is watching, he knows when we're at Montauk, we kept quiet out there. We had lanterns on the top of our head, beacons, so we could, and they were lights as well. They had 3 modes. So one mode was a green light. It was hysterical. We're about 60 to 80 feet apart in the surf, and we went out around the clock. We watched the tides, and we were very successful catching striped bass and blues, everything from the shore, everything. We never went in. If you ever go to Montauk, New York, and Long Island, be aware that's the toughest, roughest, most dangerous surf in the world. It's got a rip current that will knock you over. I got hit twice, and I went flying like 10 to 12 feet. Had no idea where it was, and I wasn't prepared. Almost went down. So I am prepared. When that hit me, I was prepared. But we're catching fish in the middle of the night, and you don't want to make a ruckus. You don't want to say nothing. So when we cast out there, we're doing lures that are about 6 to 8 inches long, 2 3/8 to 3 ounces apiece, big plugs. Some of them top water, some subsurface, some divers. And these all have rattles in them. I mean, it's just adrenaline is going through me just telling you about this. And I fish with 11-foot surf rods. I've got all of them, but those are my favorite size. With a Van Stall 250, oh man, I am ready and armed. I'm going after the enemy. And we cast out there, and it's jet black, sometimes just the light of the moon. It's absolutely beautiful. And I wish then I wasn't doing YouTube. I would have had some gorgeous GoPro videos. And we cast it out, and in the pitch black, and just to feel something just boom, something just bang, because we're using solid braid. I don't particularly use a lot of leaders when I go for them. I go solid braid with a Palomar knot to my lure and throw it out there. And you're bringing it back, and you just listen. This is just checking out new water, and all of a sudden you have no idea what's underneath the surface, how deep, or if they're right up on the surface, and bam, you get hit, or you get a bang like something. This is how they are. They want to disorient their bait, and then they come in for the kill. I want to tell you, adrenaline. I don't care what age you are. We were going nutso out there. Nuts, so that my brother, one of my brothers lives in Long Island, came out and stayed 2, 3 days with us at the motel. We're right on the beach. And this was awesome because this just brings back a lot of memories. While we're fishing, I showed my brother Den how to cast the rod. He's not nearly as experienced as I am, but he loved it and he did great. And so a couple of guys there, these are locals that lived over there, I imagine. They had, evidently we were being watched because nobody else was on the beach a lot of times. And they saw us catch fish. Every day we caught our limit, which was 2. Anyway, this particular year I drove up and I filleted them all, and it was really cool feeding the seagulls. And the guys came up to my brother and said, "Hey, who are these guys from Tennessee? You know who they are?" He says, "We've never seen anything like this before. These dudes are catching fish left and right." And he said, "They're excellent at what they're doing." There's something to that effect. And Dennis says, "No, it ain't me." He said, "That's my brother and his friend from Tennessee." He said, "Those dudes are excellent." So it was really, yes, honey, it does sound like fun. It was an absolute blast, living on pizza all week and soda, and then once in a while we went out to eat. But again, the point I'm making is those are experiences. That was like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I went like 5 years in a row, and I feel like I'm on a sabbatical now. Those are memories. You constantly relive them. This is what you guys can do. Go into these places. Do your research. We did our research. We did very little sleep. We slept at the oddest times, but we slept according to the tides. So once we got in sync with the fish, we found them. We found out where they were. We went to new waters too that we didn't know. And pulling out an average fish was 15 to 20, 25 pounds. That was average. These were nice, big, healthy stripers and huge 18-pound bluefish. Those are the biggest I ever caught in my life. So for experiences. So with the compilation video, we'll have highlights of all this. And I think it'd be nice to you guys so you know we're not putzing around out here. We don't drink beer. We don't do alcohol. We're just having plain old good time out there. So that's what fishing is and the world of seafood. I've got another catch and cook video coming. I'm almost done editing it from Florida. My Amy and I on the banks of the Anclote River. Beautiful backdrop, and that's where I take my boat down. If you watch some of the videos, that's I leave out of the yard and I go down. It's just absolutely breathtaking. And we have we cooked on the Blackstone, that tailgater combo. I love it. Absolutely love it, guys. Take a look at it. Ace sells it. Dick sells it. I think Academy of Sports, all the big retailers sell it. Make sure you find out the ones that stock it. Go look at it. You'll like it. You'll get many years out of this. This is really, really a nice little product. I got mine for $169, but even $199, where are you going to get a whole good barbecue set? Real good barbecues today, they're $700 to $1,500 to $2,000, which is absolutely astronomical now. I had a really nice Weber years ago. I paid $730, and I got that on a clearance when Central Hardware was going out of business, and it was all set up. It was over $1,000 brand new. I didn't want to type $1,000 in a barbecue. That's like against my religion. I can't do that. I just can't justify it. So I'm not going to tell you what I spent on fishing because my wife's on the line and she doesn't need to know this. No, I'm just joking. I spent a lot of money over the years on that. But again, I buy quality stuff. I have enough that I could leave to my kids, to the grandkids, to my wife, to everybody. I've got enough to start my own Bass Pro East over here. So that's the sickness you get. And once you guys get hooked, and you're going to get hooked, you're going to love it. You're just going to love it. Take it from me. I've been doing it now for 35, 40 years, probably more than that. I can't even think back that far. But I have memories. Catching blackfish off the jetty, catching porgies, catching blowfish. Just a blast. Just a blast. So I think you guys are going to enjoy that catch and cook. It's gonna be good. You guys are gonna appreciate that, and we cooked it real healthy. We have this week, you guys, if you've seen Monday's video on healthy shrimp and grits. I should have put in the thing. Wondered, do I hate y'all ever do fishing in Alaska? Absolutely, brother. How you doing, David? Oh yeah, I lived in Alaska for 4 years, 82 to 86. Let me just go off tangent here a bit. I lived in Eagle River, Alaska. My middle daughter, one of these days, she's going to do a cooking video with me. She's a little Eskimo. She was born in Anchorage, Alaska, in Providence Hospital. Yeah, absolutely love it. I worked in Eagle River Assembly of God Church with very good friends of mine, Pat Donadio and Vic Donadio. Just great friends, and totally changed the course of my life. But yes, love Alaska. Called red salmon, sockeye salmon. We have silver salmon. There's 2 runs there, and I'm sure you're aware of this if you ever lived there. I know DM is. There's a May and a September run. It starts from the ocean through the Columbia River and goes all the way up, and I'm talking thousands of miles. The distance from Seattle to Anchorage, Alaska is almost the same distance as it is from LA to New York. It's just, we don't, until you're there, the magnitude of our country is just, this continent, North America is enormous. And we fished that. I was doing, when I first went to Alaska, just to tell you, Dave, I did a little bit of real estate. I was putzing around. I did truck driving because that was my background with my dad. And the guy I was doing real estate with was real funny at the time, because at that time, look, I had all to do. I had to make ends meet. I had one daughter that came up there with me, my oldest girl, and then I had another girl. And I had to get into a trade. This was in like the first year or so. And 83, I got into my plumbing and mechanical. And I would see him say, "Hey, I got to fly down to." This was like May, about that time. I have to fly down to Seattle. I said, "What are you doing down in Seattle?" "We're going to Columbia River." I said, "Why?" He says, "Oh, the salmon run," and it's like a religion. Everybody, life stops. So, guys, unless you live there, it's a different world. It's a different world when you go to some of these remote places in the world. We are considered the lower 48. Alaska views the continent of North America, that's the 48 states. Hawaii is the one that's not part of the continent, and Alaska is part of the continent, but it's so far removed through Northwest Territories of Canada. But yes, fishing in Alaska, it's probably the ultimate place to go fishing in all the world. It's just absolutely beautiful. I had those salmon going in between my legs. It was so thick in the river, it was ridiculous. Ridiculous. I had a fly line break that I hooked onto a good sound. I don't know what it was, how big, but he snapped my actual fly line. That was unbelievable. So it was a really good experience. I did a lot of fly fishing there. Really, really, really nice, and hunting. Very, very, very nice. So, but we're starting now a healthy series. So if you guys tuned in, I'm there twice a year, never fished there. GCI is my customer, Copper River. Oh man, you're killing me. You're killing me. We're doing a healthy series now. And first, listen, we're all getting older. And secondly, when I was a little kid, eggs it was really not a lot of impurities. If I go back another generation of my dad and my grandparents, they ate everything: bacon, eggs, sausage, everything off the farm, and it was just clean. There wasn't so much chemical infusion. In the name of freshness, in the name of shelf longevity, in the name of money, selling. So we have a lot more people in the world, and things are just, look, our hormones are changing. Girls are developing so young. Boys are growing up, getting so big so quick. It just wasn't this way many years ago. So a lot of things have changed. And my chiropractor told me this. He said, it's not what we eat, it's what we digest. So we're digesting today many more chemicals and toxins and things that are bad for us than we did when my generation, did in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Those that lived in the 50s and the 40s ate a totally different type of beef or chicken that was not a lot of things that were not GMO. corn that was excellent to eat without being infused with, and affected by genetic modification. So times are different now. So we need to be, if you guys want to live a good life, a healthy life, for the sake of health, and you can't live selfish and say, the heck with it. If you guys are married, shame on you. Be there for your spouse, whatever. That's either both sides of the fence. Eat healthy, be respectful of that, and be the best that you can. So, in the name of health, we did the first one on shrimp and grits. Now, I want to talk a little bit about a couple things I mentioned in there. Now, what I didn't mention, and I should have put it in the title, in retrospect, I should. That is a keto and a paleo diet friendly. So check with your keto friends. They can eat shrimp and grits the healthy way with cauliflower. Now, I'm sure there's other variations. I'm just telling you what I picked, and I did my modifications on that recipe. I tried to go all organic with organic cauliflower. And those are not just heads about like that. And they were like a cantaloupe, but it was just a lot of cauliflower. And you get a nice big food processor and a cast iron skillet. You've got to have that. Got to have that. It makes everything come alive. It just flavors are infused in the cast iron. And that was all from the ocean, the shrimp. So I did everything, even my seasoning, everything but the grated Parmesan cheese. I did not see organic, or I would have bought them. My wife just bought organic mozzarella. I thought that was great. Brody, hey buddy, fishing MLB and WWE. Hi, I was the kid on. Hey man, how you doing? How you doing? From Canada. I think it's Ontario. So correct me if I'm wrong. Well, good to have you on board, buddy. I hope you're doing well. So salmon, let me just tell you, I looked up online, and I mean, that's salmon, shrimp, rather. Now, I started off with something that we're all familiar with. Oh, my wife, there's her remark. That was an awesome dish. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Yeah, she wolfed it. I left a bunch. I had to come to Tennessee, and she loved it. I am telling you, I don't make that up. That's not a put on when I'm online and I'm doing a video. If it's real good, I'm going to tell you. If it's mediocre, I'm going to tell you. That I could have had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm telling you. And I did another great dish that we'll talk about here in a minute. So shrimp may have a variety of health benefits. It's high in several vitamins and minerals, and it's a rich source of protein. We need protein every day. Everything in moderation. Eating shrimp might also promote heart and brain health due to its content of omega-3 fatty acids and the antioxidant astaxanthin. Don't ask me what that is. But now, the downside that people say about shrimp, high in cholesterol, that is true. But not a great percentage of our nation Oh, you didn't have a filet? Oh, man. And the the cholesterol, that's a dietary cholesterol. So some people are really not affected. So if you're not, that's great. If you are, then you have to limit your intake on that. So we did shrimp and grits, and I thought that was a really good, mediocre dish that would appeal to a lot of people. Nice, 62 fish you filleted. Holy mackerel. I like that. Take a look, Brody. Go to on Instagram. I posted, and that video is coming out. I hope I have it ready by this Friday. We went on a charter, and I'll talk about it. Look at the picture on our Fish Hook Instagram. Look at the picture of all the fish that we caught on that boat. They were all in stringers. It was absolutely ridiculous. It looked like there was a world war, and these were all the dead bodies. It was casualties of war. It was awesome, absolutely awesome. And 90% was grunts, and we had blasts. And there were some hawkfish and groupers as well. Absolutely a blast. You're up to 1 a.m. Yeah, I know. I gave away all the fish. I usually never do this, but let me just jump and tell you a little bit about this. I met a really great family, Todd and his son Brody. I don't know their last name, and they live in Gainesville. They just moved Gainesville, Florida, and they just moved recently from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Wonderful dad and son. We sat next to them in the front of the boat, and we were fishing. We had a lot of room there. We had a blast. He caught so many fish. He was so excited. He's 11 years old. I'm telling you, these are experiences. There's nothing like it. So I was number 32 for my stringer. So every time I caught fish in my bucket, he said 32, he would put it on stringer for me. Well, that stringer was ridiculous. I had caught so many. These are just the ones that I kept. I caught a ton of fish, and Amy too. And my knuckles here were swollen. I mean, just so much reeling in. And I caught a beautiful grouper. Don't you know? He was about an inch shy of the 20-inch mark, and I had to throw him back in. I was that close to having grouper for dinner. But I was going home. I was flying out the next day after church at 1:45 the next day. This was Saturday night. We got off the boat about 5:30, went out to dinner. My wife's birthday is Monday. And I'm saying, oh, this stinks. If I have to fillet all these fish, I'll be up all hours of the night. And I looked at Brody. I just loved them. They were just a wonderful, wonderful people. So me and Amy decided to donate all our fish to them and just make their day. So experiences, you do things you don't know you're going to do. And that, I'm telling you, that goes a long way. It's not about who catches the most. It's not about who catches the biggest. It goes off. When you walk into Bass Pro, it's really cool, a very funny expression. If you guys look over the doorpost, it says, "Welcome hunters, fishermen, and all other liars." Well, sorry, but we have a bad rap. And everybody exaggerates. It's just like my grandson when he caught his Colin. He caught his first, was a speckled trout on my boat 2 years ago. And he was only about 6 then. It was hysterical. I mean, I had to help him. He thought he had a giant fish there. I mean, it was a good sized speckle. And he caught his first fish. And I'm helping him reel it in and teaching him how to hold the pole and stuff. I wouldn't give that up for nothing. And now every time he talks about, oh, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I had no idea he caught such a big fish. We all do it. We all do it. We're excited. You want to impress people. So it's just fun. All of this makes the total package, and it makes it all worth it. So it's amazing if you parents go out there with your kids, have patience. They're going to ask a billion questions, and I know that's irritating because I have patience like this sometimes, and I need to really curb that and get out of my skin and help the little girl or the little boy. Teach them. It could be your flesh or someone else. Teach them. Help them out. Let them learn the ropes and walk them through that scared, I don't know what I'm doing to, oh, I got this. They'll do it, and they'll surprise you for it. But second one now, so the shrimp and grits went good. Now the second one, we're going to do some more in the healthy series, and I think it's good. I don't do a lot of heavy frying anyway. In fact, I have a deep fry. I haven't used it in years. I hope I never have to use it. I know it tastes great, and I know I'm probably stepping on a lot of toes out there, but it's just plain old not healthy for you. No matter what you have deep fried, it's just not. So everything in moderation, guys, and it's not going to kill you. Will I eat it? Absolutely. I go over your house. That's what you made for dinner. That's what we're going to eat, and I'll be grateful to it at that. So our next one is going to be on the subject of crab. And I'm not going to tell you what the dish is, but buddy, it is fresh, right out of the ocean, and I got it this week. We have another video coming up. It's going to be coming up on one of these Mondays. I went to a great wholesaler in Dunedin. We did a whole write-up. They've got their own restaurant attached to it. Great family deal. And I go and I buy and I do my business with the people I talk about. Like when I talked about Speaks Clam Bar, we go there. I'm willingly, gladly go and give them our money to get a great meal. I want to support them. So we gladly go there and do our business, and we try to do whatever we can with them because we want them to succeed. That's what it's all about. It's scratching each other's back. And when we give honest reviews, first, they're honest. Second, they're the truth. They're undiluted and they're not influenced by dollars because we're not monetized by anybody. We're not paid to say I'm not paid to say this. I'm paid to tell you. I'm not paid at all. I'm paid here to tell you the truth. And that's what we owe you. We just owe you the truth. If it's a good restaurant, good. If it isn't, you saw some of our reviews. They were horrible. That China Bar and Grill, I'll never go back there again. Never. There's enough money around here for me to go back there. So, but on crab, I want to tell you, I did something online, and I just got to tell you guys, I think you'd be interested. The top 5 reasons why eating crab is good for you. All right? These aren't the end all. These aren't the only fish to eat. This, so far, I've done it on shrimp, and shrimp is America's favorite. Everybody loves shrimp. And crab is a really big hit. Crab and lobster, these 3 and shrimp are probably the 3 most famous fish to eat on a regular basis that's readily available all over. One, crab is a great source of protein. It says that, and I didn't know this, there's about as much protein in 100 grams of meat without anywhere near the same levels of saturated fat that's in crab. The protein in crab is of high quality. Number 2, crab contains long-chain omega-3 fatty acids. Number 3, and I don't want to read all the details, I want to give you highlights. Number 3, crab contains selenium. Selenium plays a key role in the human antioxidant defense system. Selenium also contributes greatly in the role of the immune system as well. 4th, crab contains riboflavin, which is vitamin B2. And B2 is important in the production of steroids and red blood cells. So crab is big in this. And then number 5, crab contains copper and phosphorus. You guys are probably saying, Ted Wilson, how you doing, brother? For the sake of everybody, just jot down where you're from and post it so everybody can see it. But thanks for joining us tonight. Crab contains copper and phosphorus. Well, here, copper is involved in the absorption, storage, and metabolism. Well, I tell you, like I'm speaking Greek here. Metabolism of iron. And phosphorus is the principal material of bones in our teeth, and it's important in our skeletal health and development, all from the little old crab. So these are, God put them there for a reason. They got great attributes. So why not take advantage and eat healthy, guys? Why not? Why not? I think that would be a great idea. Great idea. So on that fishing trip, let me say this. We got just a little bit more to go. On that charter that we took, yes, honey, she loves crab. Oh, yeah. I got to say lobster's number 1 for me. I'm going to just let that out. I'll take lobster over any other fish any day of the week. And if it's fresh from Maine and my buddies at Sprague, yeah, Wilmington, Illinois, still from, yes. Well, we're still from Nashville, Tennessee, bro. Still from Nashville. As fresh as you can get your fish, it might cost a little bit more money. Guys, listen, isn't your health worth it? Isn't living healthy worth it? Not being a burden to your spouse, to your other important person in your life, or your family. I think all of us need to get out of ourself. Nobody owes us anything. Do the right thing. Be a blessing to those around you. Pour into other life. Well, you can only do that if you're healthy. But if you're bedridden, or if you truly are neglecting yourself, and I'll say it that way, these are willful roles. Do what you have the power to do. If you got the power to go there, it might be a couple more dollars a pound. Go buy the fresh fish. If you can go to the dock, if you live near the water, see the boats come in, go get a fish. Absolutely. Go get a nice amberjack or a nice snapper or a fresh grouper. It's worth it. Learn how to fillet it right and cook it, and we're going to talk about that. What's better than that? So that's what can I say? That's why I'm doing the healthy series. I'd rather eat the better fish that are better for me to eat. Not necessarily I'm going to eat the more expensive fish. No, don't look at it that way. What is better? Know your makeup, know your blood work, know what's good to eat, what's good for you. We all have different metabolisms. We all have different, some of us like, what is it? One of these things help with the thyroid balancing in the body, one of those, and that's with the crab. If you have a problem with the thyroid, then get food that enhances the life of the thyroid to get that gland back where it needs. And sometimes you need medical, you need drugs or healthy food supplements, good stuff. Do it. Find a good doctor. This is all part of living healthy. So I'm not one that's all green. No, I'm not like that at all. I had a hamburger today for lunch. Okay, had a cheeseburger. Was it cooked from the best beef? Probably not. Did I bring lunch? No. That was my fault because I usually cook my stuff so I can control my diet. All of us are in control of our diet, just like when we get behind our car. Who's in control of the steering wheel? Ish. So you're in control of remember what my chiropractor said. It's not what you eat, it's what you digest. So put the good stuff in it. God made us in such a way, our bodies in such a way, that we are made in the colon, the villi there. It will extract what is healthy, what is nutritious to the body, and excrete the rest. That's how we work. That's the cycle. We put it in and we let it out. That's how we do it. Why not put the good stuff? Because when we eat bad food or food not in moderation, in excess, or we drink and we shouldn't, all of that is hurting something in our body and maybe taking away years of our life. So come on, let's just be smart about this. So might as well live a good life and create memories. And it's nice not to be selfish. It's nice to think of others and in our broad view of life, that the others in our life make that view beautiful. That is the view. I don't want to see myself. I want to see the family. I want to see my wife. I want to see all of my loved ones. That's what it's all about. And so that's what Fish Hook is all about, teaching those, bringing hopefully families together on a common platform and get out there on a boat, get out on a pier, a jetty, go have fun. And I will personally help you through this channel, buy the right rod, buy the right reel, and set it up. You let me know what the budget is, and I'll guide you and give you honest opinion. Mike, buddy, how you doing from California? How's my buddy doing? So the healthy series is going to continue. We got a great one on crab coming. You're going to like this. And Amy went nuts over this. I left her a bunch of them, and I almost slept on that one. But it's really tasty. And we've got other great crab dishes coming, and maybe shrimp too, but other types of fish dishes. So you guys can get some choices and do your homework. Google a little bit, Google the pros and cons. What's in the fish that we eat? You can't, it's a different world today. Our waters are not the same as they were 30, 50, 100 years ago. Absolutely not the same. So now things are different. We've got to look at the growth of the industry all around us in every state of the union. And we have all kinds of pollutants going into the soil, which eventually leach into the water system. We talked about red tide. That fed it. And that's how it happened. That's, they were excellent. I know. AIM, don't let it out. Don't let it out what it was. But I may do this next week because we're right at the hour mark now. But next week we're gonna start with 6 healthy ways to cook fish. So I want to talk to you guys about that, different ways, because I'm sure everybody does it different. But one thing is truly taboo: frying on a regular basis. Let me say that I've had fried Growing up, my mom made everything fried. We're Italian. We didn't know any better. And it was good. The oil was great. Everything was better then. I don't have any hangups or disabilities or I got to watch that. I can't have this or I can't have, by the grace of God, I'm healthy. And I'm grateful to God for that. And yet, did I eat? Now, in retrospect, I'm saying, look at all those fried veal cutlets or eggplant or I'm getting hungry talking about this, or chicken or egg. We did everything in the cast iron skillet. It was ridiculous. That's how we, that's just how it was. But it was different then. It was really different. And today, it's totally different. Everything's made different. So let's keep our thinking caps on. That's all I want to say. Congratulations to all you guys that are catching good fish out there. Brody, congratulations, and others, man. I high five to everybody. I do have some great videos that we're editing right now. You'll see some good fish that we caught. And I like to talk about the biologies of the fish, where they go, how they roam, in an effort to open up your eyes to understand there's more to it than just going to a seashore, getting a rod, throwing it out, put a worm on. There's no fish. I had a friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name. He's probably watching tonight. And it's so funny. This was years ago. We would be fishing for striper. And after about an hour or something, sometimes it goes 2 or 3 hours. You don't catch nothing. You just got to have patience. You got to work an area or move around. It's all part of it. And he would say, there's no fish over here. I'm done. I'm going home. And I almost said his name. I said, man, come on, have patience. And we hung out. And guess what? I came home with the bacon. I caught the fish. I fished one night at my parents' house when they lived in St. Pete. They had a actual sea canal off a seawall, right? Like 15 feet outside there, covered lanai. My dad had a divot with his little boat on there. I would sit on the seawall there. I caught 5 stingray that night, 24 to 26 pounds. And I stayed up all night till 4:30 in the morning. I was going nuts out there. My dad got up Saturday morning. His eyes were like grateful. He's like, where did you get these? Spent all day filleting them. Because he liked it. And they loved it when I went fishing because I always brought home, literally a bag full of fish. And we had dinner. My mom loved it. And again, what did she do? She fried them. They were great. They were really lightly fried. So listen, one of the ways of fishing is like sauteing. That is fried, but very, 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 very lightly. So just be smart about it. One of our videos, we talked about olive oil. I subscribe to a really good thing called the Olive Oil Newsletter. I know it sounds like, oh, wow, going off the deep end. No, there's a lot of untruths that are said out there. People just saying things without backing it up. So I've got some really nice facts. I'll tell you, might hit that next week as well. Well, guys, it's an hour. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining. And for any of you other folks that are out there and you're watching, and even if you didn't do any jib jab with us, thanks so much for joining us. I'm open for questions. This is an open forum, even though, yes, I'm the guy who's doing all the talking, but I respond. If you guys give me a question, I answer it. And if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you and I'll get the answer for you. So thanks so much. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We do 3 videos a week. At this point, we're going to be moving to 4. Mondays are Munchie Mondays. We do our seafood restaurant reviews. We go to all kinds. And appreciate you too, man. And we do cooking, whether my home in Florida, or maybe somewhere else. On site, we do catch and cooks now as well. All with the fish that we catch, Amy and I catch. And then on Tuesdays, we do this chatting session. And on Fridays, we do our best, no later than by Saturday, but we try to get them out on Friday, the fishing related videos. And on Saturdays coming up now, we're going to be moving all future reviews, whether it be of cooking equipment, like this tailgater combo, or maybe something in the fishing world, like a new reel, and I'm going to be going over that. I'm not going to bore you with that during the week. So on Saturday, If you guys are relaxing in the morning, turn it on. I'm gonna do a review, and it'll be a good time to get undivided attention from you guys, because I know you got everything. Every life is going on during the week. I know you come home. If you have families, I know what it's like, man. Oh man, they just attack you at the door. You got no time to go to YouTube and that. You got to deal with life, and that's wonderful. So hats off to everybody. Thanks so much. I love you guys. And Harley 58. I must check out grape. Yes, grapeseed oil benefits. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nice to have you on board, man. When you get a chance to look at this, absolutely. We will talk about that. There's so many benefits. You want to know the smoke points, and there's so many untruths about that. So I will do quotations. This isn't me. I don't have a degree in that science, but I will do quotations and who it is, and I will even give you the website where I got that from, and from reputable sources. And I don't like living on the edge when it comes to food. I'm not gonna, if they tell me olive oil like 380 to 410, the smoke point, well, I'm not going to get it right there to 410 and try to push the button. I'm not going to push the envelope. That's not what it's about. It's about doing things the right way, knowing your limits and staying well within them. And you get the very best out of all. You know, if you go through the trouble of getting great olive oil, don't ruin it. Don't go up to 450 degrees. You're going to kill it. It's going to break down. You're going to destroy a good product. So if you want the best, buy the best. Buy good food, buy good fish. Raw, don't buy processed. Stay away from it. Some canned fish is excellent. It's not been processed. So just be careful, read your labels. Guys, so much, I'm babbling. Thanks so much, everybody that joined in. And for the new people that have checked us out, hit the subscribe button. Please be part of our family. We would like you to subscribe and turn on the notifications. It's been great to talk to everybody. And I put up our Gmail account, fishhook19@gmail.com. Please send me questions or categories you'd like me to hit, subject matter. And if you send me pictures, I promise you they'll be up on Instagram. So send them to me and we'll tag them with your name, and proudly do so. Again, we'll see you guys this coming week, and be good and God bless. Take care.